Hey PGI agents, I want to show you today how to do evidence of property insurance. Welcome PGI agents. Today I'm going to show you how to complete an evidence of property insurance, which is different from the certificate of liability insurance. You should never put property coverage on a liability certificate. So this is where you will utilize to show evidence that you have property coverage for your businesses. So we're going to go over to the Documents tab. One thing to note really quickly is that when you have anybody asking for additional insured or any specific language on a certificate, you need to double check that the policy does include that language. If it does not and you need to make an endorsement, then you need to do that before you can issue a certificate. If it is a non-admitted carrier and they're asking for additional insured or any other type of specific language, you have to get approval from the underwriter / insurance company in order to issue that certificate. So keep that in mind. And also these things can incur additional premium. So make sure you notate what that additional premium will be and get approval from the insured before you process that change. Alrighty, so we're hopping into the Documents tab. So similarly to the liability certificate, you're going to go to Add over here and create certificate. There are a few options of property certificates. There's one specifically for commercial property insurance. This one's a little wonky. However, you will have some banks or landlords that require the evidence of coverage to be listed on this form. I tend to like to use the 27. The functionality in most management systems that I've used is just a little bit easier. And I would say maybe 9 out of 10 requests that I get are okay with having that on a 27. Most of the time, if they do require a 28, they're going to tell you up front. Otherwise, I would just clarify. I like to get in the habit of if a customer says, hey, I need a certificate of insurance, and they don't provide a lot of details, I like to ask them, well, do you have any documentation showing what exactly is needed? Or do you have an email from your landlord or whomever is asking that you can forward to me so I can see exactly what they're asking? Or, if they really just don't know a lot, can I get a phone number for them so I can actually ask them what they need? This will cut down on you having to issue and reissue certificates. Those of you who have done that will definitely attest. Just get the information from the start and it's a lot easier. Alrighty, so I'm going to go into the evidence of property, the 28, because it is the commercial property, and we will select our property policy line and we'll click add certificate. I'll show you exactly why I'm not a huge fan of this. It is overall a nice form and layout. You can see here, just open this a little bit more. So you can see it pulls all the details, the policy type, the policy number, effective dates. On this Accord form, you'll need to select if it's the building coverage or if it's BPP. You can choose both. It'll show your location addresses. If you need to add a location, you can do so, but it really only has room for one location information. Then we need to select if it's special or broad. Ideally, your management system would fill these in. I've honestly never used a management system that actually fills this form accurately. And I've used AMS 360, Epic, and then this one, Ezlynx. And so you would just go on down the line to indicate, hey, we have business income, yes, or if you didn't, then you would click no, or if it's not applicable, then you would do that. If there's a limit, you would select and ensure this limit is actual loss sustained, you'd enter there, and then how many months according to the policy. Always, always, always verify that the policy does say exactly what you are putting on the certificate. The certificates generally do say that the policy language prevails. However, we still want to make sure that we're reflecting very accurately what is included on that policy. Blanket coverage, terrorism, those sort of things. So just on and on. So first, just so you can see how this would be filled out. and ordinance or law. So this would be coverage A included. And then we're going to say for that one. And I can't emphasize enough, so long as the policy states that it has this coverage on there, that's where you list this. And then there's even a space down here if there's a wind and hail deductible. So we'd say yes. And a deductible 2%, we'll say that's pretty common. Named storm deductible is also typical. I'm going to leave that blank since we do have the wind and hail deductible. And then you can see additional things here. We do need to set our signature on this as well. You can do that. It'll generate that. And then I like to make that a little bigger. And then we want to save it. And then adding a certificate holder is the same. If you do have a loan number, I always like to include that. So keep that in mind. If you do know it and have it or can get it, I like to do that. And then, add your interest here, the same as the other one, and then you generate your certificate. Really quickly, I'm going to also show you the Accord 27. So you can see it's just a little bit more manual. Well, actually, they're both pretty manual. Oh, I forgot to show you this really quickly. I'm so sorry. So the one thing that's really frustrating about the 28, and I've honestly experienced this with every single management system that I've used. So the coverage that's most important on this is the coverage property amount. And there's no way to enter it in here. And there's no way to enter it when you add the certificate holder. So very frustrating for me. What I would usually do is generate the PDF and then go in and edit the PDF and then make sure I print that PDF to my computer. That way the field isn't changeable to whomever is receiving that. So it's just one thing to keep in mind, that functionality. So if someone does absolutely require their Core 28, then we have a way to amend that. And so we're going to close this, leave here, and then go in to do a certificate of evidence of property, the 27. We'll also select that policy line and add certificate. And then hit OK. It just looks a little bit different. You just have line item by line item. And so it pulls over everything the same. Just really quickly, here's a place for our loan number, effective dates. And then you can see our location number is there or location address is also there. If you need to add another one, you can also do that. Then we can just build this out. Building replacement cost. 80% insurance. And then we list our amount and deductible. And I like to do wind and hail deductible right below that. And then list it over here, 2%. Business income is one thing that I commonly like to do when I add this here. I probably won't add as many details as the 28 has. And then equipment breakdown is also generally included and has that if it's on a BOP, again, read the policy language to make sure you're including what you need to, and then adding our signature. So that's what that would look like. If you have any additional questions about creating evidence of property insurance, reach out to your business consultant and they're happy to walk you through this or give you a little bit more details. And then from here, just really quickly, I want to show you this. You can rename these. I prefer to rename them the policy year that they are showing evidence of coverage. If it has multiple policies on it, I like to just leave it as not applicable. So like your certificate of liability, if it is specific to the property, then I assign it to that. Could you rename that? And all I did was go to actions, properties, and then you can rename that. All right, that's all I've got for you today. If you have, again, any questions, reach out to your commercial lines business consultant. We're happy to help. Thanks.